episode of Bigfoot Tales. I'm your host Dan, Bigfoot Man, coming to you from the state of Maine. And I'm just getting into the woods right now. Not all that far from where the side of the road is, where I enter is. There's a few houses up there, so for probably another few hundred yards you might hear some kids. But this is what I call the Four Brooks area. Hoping to be in here early enough to be able to set up a observation point where I can take a look at some of the wildlife that comes down here. We have deer. I've never seen any sign of bear down here, but it doesn't mean that there won't be one. You never know what we're going to see. Primarily, for the purposes of this episode though, we're going to be looking for Bigfoot sign, and I'll show you where we're going to be going through. See that thick stuff right over in there? That's what I'm heading for. So follow along, and we'll see what happens with the Bigfoot Tales, and maybe we'll find something new together. Okay, didn't find anything there. Gonna head across country here. Gonna go to a rise and stake out a game trail, see what we can find. One of the things you want to be careful of when you get into a rise is to take it real slow going over the top. Make sure you scan everything real close. Take a couple of steps at a time. Whoa, heavy there. Looks like some prints here, hopefully. I'm not sure whether you got me on camera or not, but we're going to examine them a little bit and take some measurements. Don't know whether you heard that wood knock or not, but pardon my hind end. But I gotta get my notebook out. And like I've said time and time again, you always want to make sure that you're documenting what you're doing. That way when somebody asks you a question, you can say, well, you know, that's not very good when you're doing an investigation. Over 12 inches. That one shows 14 inches wide, or long rather. And the tip is 7 inches. At the tarsal region. The tarsal region is the wide point of your foot, where the ball of your toes are, over to the other side. Oops, I fell over. I have to do that again. That is a 5-inch across at the heel. There are a couple of other disturbed areas here. It's hard to tell whether they're tracks or not. I'm going to assume they probably are. So I'm going to take some pictures of them and go from there. Now, whatever that was, came down the same route that I'm traveling. See, from a long ways off, you really can't tell what they are. They're just scuffed up leaves. Once you've seen a few impressions, then you pretty much get the hang of it. But, don't see much else here worth looking at. Hello. It's a stump torn apart here. That's pretty interesting. That's another tree with a bark pile at its base. What we have here, have a stick stuck in there. That's an old one. Don't really know how long this has been here, but it's pretty well corroded or decayed rather. We'll carry on. That area down further is where I found a bunch of prints along with a bunch of clam shells. Correspondenters reminded me that otters and raccoons eat clams also, and that is true. However, there wasn't any of those prints right where the shells were, so right up there is where my noise is coming from. That's a interstate right up in there. Cars are going through by about 60 miles an hour, 70 miles an hour or so. Here's an eagle. And that is a bald eagle. this is pretty interesting. I'm gonna guess it's probably all natural fall, but still, it's kind of odd. This long one here coming this way, falling on this one, and then those two falling down that way. Just they're falling in, you know, a couple of 3 different directions, and yeah, that's confusing because you almost always see them either in a simple configuration, or you see them all going in the same directions, especially if it's a natural fall. But this is this is out of the norm. I can't exactly say what caused it because I have no idea, but you know, it's not something definitely that I'm going to pass off as being entirely natural. It's hard to tell for sure. Because I have seen other structures like this. They were kind of H-shaped like this. It has the cross pieces and all that. And they were along game trails. And this one, the game trail goes right there. The tracks go down to the water, maybe 25, 30 feet, maybe 40 feet max on the other side of the lateral pieces that go like that. So, your guess is as good as mine at this point. I'm going to say maybe, but you know, again, there's no way you can say definitely. Not ever until you actually see it being done. So we'll go by a possible this time.